The relations between Russia and the United States have been different throughout history. It's hard to believe, but back in the 18th and 19th centuries, Russia and America were actually on friendly terms. I have already released a video on the channel about how the United States helped Russia. A link to it will be in the description. And in today's video we'll talk about how Russia helped the United States and provided support to the country. Russia began to support the United States even before their actual recognition, so with the beginning of the American Revolution, the Russian government began to sympathize with the Americans. So at the height of the revolution, the English monarch George III turned to Catherine II for help. He asked her to send a 20,000 security corps to America, but Catherine refused. A little later, another request was received to sign a mutual assistance agreement, which was also rejected. In 1780, Russia officially declared armed neutrality in general, which meant trading with all the belligerents. Thus, Russia did not actually support the British blockade of America, and later other European countries joined the armed neutrality. The rebels regarded the League of Armed Neutrality as an ally, since it was the countries that participated in it continued to trade with Americans. Thus, Russia, without actually intervening in the war, provided good support to the rebellious Americans. It's obvious that Russia was promoting its interests in this way, namely the weakening of Great Britain. The next important episode in American history was the Civil War, which began in 1861. And again, Russia began to support American government in this war. Interestingly, of the major countries, only Russia supported the official state government headed by Lincoln. The Confederation received support from Britain and France, and it was these countries that essentially recognized its independence and considered the Confederation as a participant in the conflict. In turn, the North, with the support of Russia, did not consider the Confederation as a separate country, but considered it exclusively as a rebellious territory. Already in 1863, at the height of the war, Russia even led a military fleet to the American ports of New York and San Francisco. The fleet stayed there for about 10 months. The Americans welcomed the Russian ships with joy. This step was taken because of the threat of intervention by France and Great Britain on the side of the Confederates. By the way, the offensive of the Anglo-French troops on the lands of the states was quite real. In the same year, the French carried out a coup in Mexico, and with the help of intervention, established the Mexican Empire there. In fact, the empire was a puppet. However, due to the massive resistance of the Mexicans, further intervention in the states did not happen. Such support was due to the recent Crimean War, during which many Western countries fought against Russia. Among them are France and the United Kingdom. So Russia, in the course of the American Civil War, essentially opposed its opponents. Moreover, the United States supported Russia in the Crimean War, albeit only diplomatically. Russia and the United States opposed themselves to France and Great Britain. Researchers often notice a certain parallel between Lincoln and Alexander II, since it was they who managed to do away with two fairly similar issues, with slavery and serfdom. The sale of Alaska, although originally it was done more in the interest of Russia than in the interest of the United States. Nevertheless, after a couple of decades after the sale, Alaska became quite an attractive territory due to the discovery of gold deposits there, and in the 20th century, with the growing demand for oil, it became one of the largest oil-producing regions in the world. The sale of Alaska took place in 1867. Due to the threat of invasion of British troops on the peninsula. As I have already said, Russia at that time was in difficult relations with Britain, and the Crimean War showed that Russia is unlikely to be able to defend some territories. Such a territory was Alaska, next to which the largest British colony was located. Alaska was sold for other reasons, but this topic is already worth a separate video. Thus, Russia decided to sell Alaska to the States, since they were essentially allies of the Russians, and even located nearby. Interestingly, the States initially even resisted buying Alaska without seeing any prospects in it. And thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.